Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diagnosing a lean condition on my 2004 BMW X3 with the M54 engine. The car has thrown fault codes 2882 and 2883, which correspond to P0171 and P0174, indicating a lean mixture on both banks. I picked up a fuel pressure test kit that includes a pressure gauge, various adapters, extension hoses, and a Schrader valve adapter. The gauge connects via an 1/4 inch SAE female flare fitting, which is the standard name for this type of connector. Rather than guessing, we're going to test the fuel rail pressure to determine whether the issue lies with the fuel pump or filter, or if it's further downstream like the injectors or intake system. To prevent fuel leaks, I wrap the threads with PTFE thread seal tape, commonly known as plumber's tape. First, we shut off the engine and remove the fuel rail cover, officially called the engine fuel rail trim panel, by loosening two bolts using a 10 mm hex socket. Once the cover is off, we locate the Schrader valve at the front end of the fuel rail. After removing the dust cap, we use a digital caliper to confirm the valve thread is 8V1, which is the standard Schrader thread, approximately 8 mm diameter with a 1 mm pitch. To catch any residual fuel, we place a cloth beneath the valve. Then we connect the Schrader adapter to the valve and tighten it securely to the 1/4 inch SAE female fitting on the pressure gauge. Before we begin, route the clear drain hose from the pressure gauge into a clean catch bottle and place a dry powder fire extinguisher within arm's reach. Confirm all fittings are tight and cloths are in place under the Schrader valve. With everything ready, insert the key and turn it to the on position only. Watch the Schrader area continuously for any fuel spray. If you see fuel spraying, immediately turn the key back to OFF and step away. In my previous run, the Schrader sprayed like a garden sprinkler, so be ready to kill the circuit at the first sign of uncontrolled fuel. Read the gauge and record the pressure at key on. This is the pump prime or pre-run pressure. Write down the value and time. Now start the engine and observe the gauge. Record the reading immediately after start. Then leave the engine idling and record again after 5 minutes of normal running. Note whether the pressure rises, stays steady, or drops. If you found this walkthrough useful, subscribe for the follow-up where I'll perform the pump voltage check, swap the filter, and test injectors live. Leave your questions or your test readings in the comments and I'll help interpret them. Stay safe and work carefully around fuel. Turn the engine off and remove the key. Watch the gauge for pressure retention and record the pressure at 30 seconds, 1 minute, and 5 minutes after shutdown. Rapid pressure loss suggests injector or check valve leakage. Good retention suggests valves and injectors are sealing. Before removing the gauge, depress the gauge bleed button to rapidly drain any trapped fuel into the catch bottle. Wait until the clear hose and the gauge body are fully drained of fuel. Carefully pour the collected fuel back into the fuel tank using a clean funnel, or return it to an approved container for reuse. Do not pour contaminated fluid back into the tank. Slowly loosen the Schrader adapter from the valve. Expect a small amount of residual fuel to weep out. Catch it with the cloth placed beneath the valve, and wipe the area clean immediately. Thoroughly clean the Schrader valve, the adapter threads, and the pressure gauge fittings with a clean, lint-free rag. Remove any PTFE tape residue and fuel film to prevent dirt contamination or future leaks. Reinstall the Schrader dust cap securely. Replace the fuel rail cover, engine fuel rail trim panel, and torque the two retaining bolts to the manufacturer's specification. Confirm all tools and rags are clear from the engine bay. Perform a final visual inspection for leaks. Start the engine and observe the fuel rail area for at least 30 seconds. Shut down and recheck for any signs of seepage before calling the job complete. Always dispose of or store recovered fuel safely. Record your test readings and observations for later diagnosis. If you saw rapid pressure loss, uncontrolled spray, or could not reach expected running pressure, follow up with pump voltage checks, filter replacement, and injector diagnostics. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and leave your test numbers in the comments for help interpreting them.